There are some women whose courage does not begin with heroic moments. It begins quietly, in the hidden places of the heart, where God whispers long before anyone else sees what He is shaping. Amy Carmichael was one of those women. She grew up in Ireland believing she would live a simple life, but God had already placed compassion inside her long before she knew where it would lead. One day after church, Amy stopped to help an elderly woman who struggled to walk in the cold wind. This moment was small, and most people would have forgotten it within an hour. Amy did not forget. She felt something stir in her heart. She realized that love is more than emotion. Love is movement. Love steps toward people who need help. Love sees what others overlook. That moment stayed with her because she felt God planting a question inside her spirit. Will you love people even when it costs something? She did not know it then, but that single act of kindness was training her heart for a calling far greater than she imagined. God often prepares His daughters this way. He begins with small steps so their feet will be strong enough to take the bigger ones later. As Amy grew older, she noticed that compassion shaped her decisions. She felt moved by the needs of others. She longed to serve God in ways that mattered deeply. This longing eventually led her to missionary work, and she believed she would live a peaceful life, teaching and helping wherever she was sent. But God had a different assignment waiting for her, one that would require the kind of courage that grows slowly, quietly, and faithfully over time. When Amy arrived in India, she discovered something heartbreaking. Many young girls had been dedicated to local temples and forced into lives that they did not choose. They were trapped in systems of betrayal and suffering. Amy did not have the ability to walk away from what she saw. She could not pray politely and pretend everything was fine. Her heart carried too much compassion to stay silent. The first time a young girl ran into Amy for refuge, she faced a decision that would define the rest of her life. Amy opened her door. She opened her arms. She opened her home, and that choice changed everything. She understood that protecting that single child would bring resistance, danger, and criticism. But she also understood something else. God had entrusted her with a life. She could not turn her back. Amy began rescuing one child, then another, and soon her home became a sanctuary for hundreds. This was not an organized mission strategy. It was an overflow of a heart willing to say, if I have to stand alone to protect them, I will. Amy faced legal battles, community anger, and physical threat, but she never retreated. She believed that God gives His daughters strength equal to the calling He places before them. She once wrote the words that have encouraged believers for generations. It is a safe thing to trust Him to fulfill the desire He creates. She understood that the desire to love and protect those children did not come from her own personality. It was placed there by God Himself. When He creates a desire for compassion, He also provides the courage to live it out. Amy poured out her life for 55 years in India. She never returned home. She chose the path of sacrifice because she believed that real love always requires something. Her courage was not loud or dramatic. It was steady. It was faithful. It was willing to endure hardship for the sake of protecting the vulnerable. The safe refuge she built for the children became a place where little ones who felt forgotten learned they were treasured by God. Many of those children grew into adults who carried her legacy of courage forward. The impact of Amy's life was never measured in fame, recognition, or public applause. It was measured in freedom, in healing, and in the quiet joy of children who finally felt protected. Amy's life reminds us that courage does not always look dramatic. Courage is often a quiet decision to love someone you did not expect to love, to stand in a place where others walk away, and to remain faithful even when no one is watching. God uses women like this. God strengthens women like this. God trusts women like this with some of his most important work. Your calling may not look like Amy Carmichael's, but God has placed something within you that matters. Perhaps it is the courage to forgive someone who hurt you. Perhaps it is the strength to keep showing up in a hard season. Perhaps it is the willingness to reach out to someone who feels alone. Courage often begins as a small whisper in your heart that says, "This matters. Do not turn away." Amy believed that peace comes from accepting the path God lays before you. She once said, "In acceptance lies peace." She trusted God equips his daughters for every assignment he gives. The same promise is true for you today. Wherever God is asking you to step forward, he will meet you with strength you did not know you carried. If this story encouraged you, I would love for you to subscribe. Each week we share more stories of faith, courage, and women who choose to live with purpose. And if you want deeper encouragement throughout the week, you can find it in my books and weekly Substacks posts. This is a place for your story, and I'm honored to walk alongside you.